but I hear we got an email. Is that true?
Yes, we got our first Q&A email, and just to remind, yes, I was very happy to receive this. I mean, I was thinking it would take a couple more weeks for us to finally get our first Q&A, but yes, we finally have one.
All right, so like we said, we got an email from Allison, who you can follow on Twitter actually on at Meowth900. I know she likes to tweet at us a lot, and me. I talk to her pretty frequently actually. And she writes, "Hello, Manga Mavericks. It is Meowth900 here. I've recently been getting into manga, and I've also been getting into light novels at the moment. I think that light novels are making a comeback thanks to the guys at Yen Press, especially with them licensing both the Durarara and the Baccano light novels. I'm currently trying to read the Wallflower manga, which is a really underrated shoujo comedy series being put out by Kodansha Comics. I currently own up to volume 13. Its 36th and final volumes come out in March. My question for you guys is, how do you like the size of manga? Do you prefer the usual 200-page volume format or the 2 or more volumes in one manga format? I prefer the latter because it really saves money in the long run and there's so much more manga to enjoy."
Basically, do you prefer single volumes or omnibuy?
That's a good question. I mean, I remember I actually started buying manga from Viz in particular when single volumes of Viz manga used to cost like $7.95. So
I mean, they cost more now.
yeah, unfortunately they cost like $9.99 now, which I really miss the days where I was in middle school and I could affordably buy cheaper manga. I used to buy One Piece volumes for that much back before the speed up. I think that's actually about the time when they started raising the prices on volumes, actually. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I like single volumes. I don't mind them. I like. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you really had to ask me, I like omnibuy, omnibuses, omnibuy, whatever the plural for that is. It's especially useful for when you want to buy something long running, but you've barely collected any of it. It's very useful for my beginning collection of Yu-Gi-Oh now, because for the longest time I only had about like the first 3 volumes of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I just never got around to collecting it. But the current Omnibuy release of Yu-Gi-Oh from Viz, I think is a great purchase. Unfortunately, it's kind of a lower quality release. It's kind of the same kind of release that Viz has been putting up for like their One Piece and Naruto and Bleach Omnibuy, where the paper's a little thinner than a normal volume of manga, but I think it's still a good purchase. Like, I think they're like $14 to $15 a volume, which if you really want to compare it to, like, if you bought like 3 single volumes of manga from Viz, that would be like
you're saving half.
Yeah, you're saving. Yeah, you're basically paying half of what you would pay if you bought 3 single volumes of Viz manga, which would be like $30. So I think it's worth it. I think if I could do that with all the manga that I buy, that'd be nice. But again, it's a good thing for when you want to collect a long running series. And yeah, I agree. It's more bang for your buck. You get more manga for more money, and that's always a good thing.
Basically, I prefer like the high quality omnibuy to the lower quality omnibuy that like the stream ones. Like the best comparison you can make is the Dragon Ball Vizbigs compared to the Dragon Ball stream ones. I mean, the Vizbigs are wonderful. They have the great, really big paper, great quality, color pages. It's just a great release. I mean, aside from the censorship, but
Aside from the censorship and like some of the weird, like, I know there are like some weird translation issues like here and there, but I mean that's neither here nor there. You can listen to the Kanzenshu podcast, formerly known as Daizenshu, if you want to hear all about that. But
yeah,
but it's still worth it, I think.
Yeah, it's just for me that it depends on the quality of the release, because generally I will prefer the high quality omnibuy to one of the more lower quality omnibuy. But generally that's not too much of a problem. Like the two in one omnibuys that I've gotten recently, like Monster and Ranma 1/2, those are very good quality releases. So, you know, usually the quality's good enough that it justifies buying it over the single volumes. I think the only thing that you lose out really is some of the cover art, because obviously the cover art for Omnibuy doesn't tend to be as good as the cover art for like the single volume releases, especially for a series like Dragon Ball, like which has really great, a beautifully drawn cover art. It's for a lot of volumes, and then the Omnibuy releases have more simple, like, stock character arc. Like, the Vizbigs just have Goku and random poses.
Yeah.
And then the Street ones have, it's new art from Toriyama. Like,
really? Because I thought they used art from the Kanzenban release over in Japan.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of referring to, because Toriyama drew that art for those releases, and the stream ones are basically the English versions of those Kanzenban things. But, so but I don't know. I don't think those are as good as like the original cover art for the volumes. So
no, I agree.
But I think that's not really the content of the volume. It's the same story basically. So, I don't really care for like the Dragon Ball Stream ones, but with most Omnibuy releases, they're definitely well done and comparable quality to the single volumes, and especially for like really lengthy manga, they're a godsend because they save shelf space. So
because I was mentioning how Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of lengthy. Yu-Gi-Oh is, I think, almost 40 volumes long.
Yeah, I think it's like 38.
It's pretty long. It ran for a while. I really wish there were omnibuses for Case Closed, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. So I'm not going to get my hopes up. That would be nice, but whatever. It's not like I wanted it or anything, Baka. That was my attempt at being tsundere. I think real quick before we should go, do we have any thoughts on light novels? Because I know Allison kind of brought that up.
I really haven't read any light novels. I'm going to read the Slayers light novels at some point because I love Slayers, and I've been meaning to do that for like 10 years now, but otherwise, I think light novels, are good. Obviously there's been a lot of great series adapted from light novels, and generally they're better. And generally a lot of light novels are better than like the animes. Sometimes. At least from what I've heard from most people, they prefer the light novels over the anime adaptations.
Yeah, I've never read a light novel just because, again, I'm a visual person, so I don't really read a lot of novels in general, but I wouldn't mind reading the Baccano novels at some point, because I do love Baccano. It's probably one of my favorite anime. I don't know if I don't really like Durarara as much. That's something I need to fix, because I remember I watched like the first 8 episodes of the anime, and for some reason I just couldn't get into it. But I do want to fix that at some point. I do want to give it another chance. I'll actually probably watch it dubbed this time, because I do remember liking the dub, actually.
I prefer the dub over the sub myself, though. I think I'm in the minority on that.
Maybe, probably.
At least in my circles.
But yeah, hey, if you guys want to maybe shoot me over some suggestions on some like actual good light novels that just light novel suggestions for somebody who's never really read a light novel before, something other than Baccano or Spice and Wolf, because I feel like those are kind of easy, but I don't know if there are any other light novel series that are other than those two that are actually worth reading. So if you have any suggestions on light novels, for someone like me who hasn't read a light novel that isn't Bakano or Spice and Wolf, I would love to hear them.